Hi, and welcome to Mindsol Meditations. So for our practice today, we have two options. You can come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. And if you do so, just make sure that you have your heart stacked over your pelvis and then your head stacked over your heart. And hands can rest wherever is most comfortable for you. So that is option one. The second option is to come onto our backs. You don't need a yoga mat at all. You can just lay down on your floor, on your couch, on your bed. It really doesn't matter. Just find a place that feels most comfortable for you today. Sometimes it's our body wants us to sit up. Other times it's like, please let me lay down. So wherever you are, close the eyes, make any last minute fidgets. And as your eyes are softly closed, begin to notice your breath and how it is naturally moving within your body today. Noticing if it's a little shallow or slow, faster and intense. It feels like there's any holding or blockage. And whatever you notice, whatever you find, that's okay. Don't attach any opinions or judgments about it. Today we are going to focus on non-attachment or detachment. Non-attachment within the mind and within the body. So our focus is completely on our breath. Nothing else. And if your mind strays, that's obviously okay. Just bring it back in. Focus on the air molecules flowing into your body and back out. And we're going to gently increase the depth of our breath by breathing into the very bottom of our lungs, so filling our lungs completely and purposefully. Noticing that there is a beginning, middle, and end to the breath. And in between the breaths, there's a little pause. a pause that is essentially space. A space in which we've allowed ourselves to not be doing anything in particular. Revel in that space. And begin to increase the breath so that it reaches the very depths of the belly, filling it completely and emptying it completely. As we move on, we're going to keep on breathing in this expansive and emptying way. But if your breath leaves its current pattern, that's okay. We're not attaching ourselves to a certain way of breathing or way of being. Now bring your full attention to the crown of the head. And imagine that at the crown of the head there is a specific spot, a specific marking, right in the middle of the top of the head. And imagine that spot or that point not landing directly on the head, but sort of just floating above. And even though it's not attached to us, it's still affecting us in the way that it releases energy from that point. And the energy spreads from that point and washes over the body. And as the energy washes over their body, it's not exciting or activating anything. It's releasing and letting everything go. So it's releasing any tension or holding in the forehead and the space between our eyebrows. It's creating space between the backs of our eyelids and our eyeballs. It's releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And just letting it hang in the position that it wants to. Releasing the jaw slightly so that there's a space between our bottom teeth and our lower teeth. and trickling down towards the throat, one by one, releasing all the muscles that surround the throat. And when you release the muscles surrounding the throat, there's this automatic sensation of just complete release and complete receptivity. When our throat muscles are fully active and clenching on, it means that they're always ready for action instead of reaction, so that when we're having a conversation with someone, we're not fully able to listen to them with our throat muscles activated. When we release them, it opens the door for full receptivity, full reaction to the present moment. It's almost like a message to the brain to not be jumping ahead, but instead just hanging out. And acting in response to what is given to us, instead of what we think should be given to us. From the throat, our attention comes to our heart. To the blood pumping in and out of it. Visualizing the arteries and the passageways in which blood is exchanged and transferred. Now imagine those physical passageways detaching from their attachment points so that they're just kind of free floating, suspended in air. And while that physical detachment of the passageways occurs, it doesn't disrupt our energetic or our blood flow. It still operates as it should. But now it's not grasping onto anything. Now hone your attention on your right shoulder. Imagine it detaching from its socket, from its place of it doesn't fall to the ground, it doesn't just fall off to the side, it still stays in the space that it's supposed to be in, but it's no longer clenching to hold on. And as it begins to release, that creates a ripple effect within the arm as the muscles detach from the bones. Still holding, taking up space and providing you with support, but they're just floating almost above the bones. And there's space between there that is nurturing and healing. And And then our left shoulder begins to detach. And it sends out the ripple effect down the arm to the fingertips, releasing everything. Moving our attention to the belly. Become soft and relaxed. Not trying to attain any certain shape or size. It is as it is. And yet it is beautiful as it is. With every breath, we create space within the belly. Our organs release from each other. And that release ripples down to our hips and our hip bones. Our hip bones slowly begin to detach themselves in the same way that our shoulders did. Taking a much needed and earned break from everything that they do for us and all of the movement that they allow us to make. And as the hips begin to detach, create space, that detachment begins to ripple down the thighs. So that the muscles surrounding the front of our legs and the back of the legs are no longer holding or clenching onto the bone. Our kneecap and the muscles surrounding the knees detach. Creating space and fluidity within that area. The calf muscle releases from the shin bone. Muscles surrounding our ankles and our feet release and detach. Making space for full and acceptance and joy that is found in the present moment. And now our breath is entering through the that point at the crown of our head. And it's moving freely through all of the space that we have created within the body and within the mind. Freely moving where it wants. And as it moves through the body, it's healing everything within. And feel free to stay here in this state for as long as you would like. There's no need to rush out of this. And even as you begin to make your way out when you decide to do so, take this space, take this non-attachment with you. And as you take that space and non-attachment with you, you'll begin to notice the lack of tension, the lack of clinging, the lack of stress that occurs within the mind and the body. Let it all go. Let it be as it is.